Jason Aalon, Let Live, Kerrang podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to a very special Kerrang podcast here in Kerrang's head offices. I'm Katie P and I've been joined by the delightful and extraordinarily beardy Mr. Jason from Let Live. And welcome back to London town.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice.
What are you doing here?
Talking to you.
That's number one.
Others,
number two,
yeah.
What else is going on?
Yeah, honestly, just over here to discuss the matters that are the record that's coming up. So yeah, just over here and hanging out with some people and enjoying this lovely London spring. You know what this is?
Yeah, this is not spring, this is a disaster in terms of weather. So we're sort of recording this just a few days after Slam Dunk. You're here to talk about the album, but let's rewind slightly. You decided to make a sort of spontaneous live appearance at Slam Dunk in Wolverhampton on Monday, joining some of your friends on stage. Can you explain a little bit about the decision making behind that one?
Yeah, well the trip was, you know, planned a bit prior to my arrival, and as it usually is, and we learned that Pierce the Veil will be playing at Slam Dunk, and Sarah, our lovely friend in PR, she let us know that, you know, everything that was happening at the festival. So I think it was our manager actually spoke with their manager. I didn't even know what was really going on, and then
so important.
Yeah, yeah. And then I clearly, obviously, I texted the guys. I was like, "Hey, I'm coming to Slam Dunk." And like, "All right, we'll do the song." So it was a lot easier than it seemed to be with the management. But yeah, and then we got to the festival, spoke with them, and I don't even know like if we even talked about it until right before we went on. I think, or they went on. They went on. And I think they tried to practice it like 2 other times and failed. Like, cause they never played the song, they only played it on the tour we were together. So yeah. It worked out wonderfully though. I had a really good time and I think it sounded good.
So the album is kind of a big deal. All of us went completely bonkers for the last one, so we've been literally like chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
It must have been so strange for you to have such an incredible reaction to that album and such pressure then possibly put on your own shoulders and everyone else putting on them as well.
Yeah.
To make this one even better.
Yeah, I feel as though like, if you're in a band and you're actually sort of nurturing what it is to be an artist, then typically like you can write a better record than your last one because you're supposed to evolve with time. And I think that's kind of just how we approached it. We were like, you know, we've done so much touring, we've performed so much, we've tried to sort of master our craft or whatever. And yeah, the pressure wasn't really apparent or even like present until maybe at the end when we realized that people wanted to hear a record. Because as soon as people heard that we were like recording, people were asking about the record, and that's the only kind of pressure that I really experienced was at the end. I was like, well, people actually want to hear the record. So, but I think in the end, like we made sure that we made a record that people deserved, as opposed to like just getting a record out. You know, okay, we did it. You know, we really spent a lot of time on this record, and I think it'll show.
And in terms of the toil it might have taken on you emotionally, everyone who's ever seen Let Live play live know this is like, it's a really visceral, kind of energetic and exhausting experience for you.
Yeah.
How do these new songs kind of measure up in terms of how much of yourself is put in those?
Yeah, that's a great question. Such a good question. It was honestly like, I usually like try to act a little blasé about like everything that we do and oh yeah, it's cool, whatever, but yeah, it was rough, like, because there was so much like introspective exploration. Like I never looked at myself the way that I do now, in the way that I did during this record. I think it was a series of things, whether fortuitous or disastrous, however I look at it. Like this sequence of things that happened to me while, like, after Fake History was released was really intense in the sense that like it forced me to analyze myself. If I was to be the person that I was so loudly like boasting to be, like an honest person, like I had to really get honest and become more transparent. So the emotional aspect of this record is much more from first person than it is an observer's standpoint. And it's all about like how I feel about certain things, and at times it may seem a bit bleak or like dismal, but it's not. It's really just me trying to be as open as I can in order to move forward. And you know, there's always some sort of weird light at the end of a really dark time. So that's kind of where I was at with that one.
A few weeks ago, Kerrang, his entire issue was dedicated to the power of lyrics, and there was two flip sides to that. And we spoke to you, I think, as well for that issue about your favourite lyricist. But there's the power of lyrics in terms of the listeners and what it means for them, but also the power of lyrics in terms of kind of healing for yourself and for the artist as well. Do you think that now that this record is finished and these songs have been let out of you, that you're closer to that light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, certainly. Like, I know that I'll definitely return to those moments as you typically do when you're like playing music that you've written years ago. But I'll return to those moments when performing, but I think that it's all part of a cathartic process, you know, and hopefully, again, like, in the end, ultimately, like, I want people to be able to like read the lyrics or listen and actually be like, even if it's like hard to do and like live in that space, to realize that you can advance, you can get past that space. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to exhibit, is just like, we did that and we were in these moments and now we're here and we're happy, you know. So yeah.
2 thumbs up.
Thanks.
All good. Just finally then, you're only just visiting here just by yourself at the moment, but that whole band will be back in October.
Yes.
Big UK tour planned, really exciting.
Yeah.
Kind of hypes up at the moment. Full list of details are online now on kerrang.com. Ticket link on there as well. Scale of 1 to 10, coming back to the UK with all the boys in tow.
It's, I mean, 15.
Yeah, perfect.
0.4.
15.4.
Yeah, probably.
Levels of excitement. I mean, the UK has become, I'm going to put the words in your mouth, it's a second home
It's
for Let Live. It's a first home. But I mean, going out on the Kerrang tour, the other tours you've done in kind of smaller venues as well, this country's really embraced Let Live, and I'm sure everyone's stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that earlier. Like, we're just so beyond like grateful for like what we've received from the UK. Like, specifically from England. Like, thank you guys. It's awesome.
What a perfect place to end it. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you.
This has been the Kerrang podcast.